In the last class, we have discussed on the plant and storage location combination assigning to the centralized warehouse number, and then defining extended warehouse management warehouse number and assigning the centralized warehouse number to the extended warehouse management. And then we have discussed on the QRFC level settings also. Okay, so in this class, we will be discussing on the warehouse structure. Okay, so warehouse means like we have multiple kinds of warehouses. A warehouse is a total complex where all we store the material in one way, one aspect. You can define that in that way. It can be for the raw materials, it can be for the finished goods. There are two levels. Okay, so and further to that one, we have warehouses which are attached to the plant and warehouses which are utilized as a distribution centers and warehouses which are used as a transit warehouses in the urban localities. These are the three levels. Okay, so in the plant where the manufacturing plant is there, in that we have the, so like this we have a huge warehouse complex. Okay, in that one we have the inbound level and outbound level. Okay, so here also we have seen, so this kind of huge warehouses will be there. So warehouse means like in extended warehouse management, you can imagine this kind of huge warehouse. So extended warehouse management is used, that means it is useful or the application used by the business which has got the huge number of products, number of materials called as like, and I mean, and SKUs also, like huge number of SKUs, it's like a million SKUs kind of stuff. Okay, and the huge traffic, there is a lot of inbound delivery and outbound delivery level, such as like this. Okay, inbound delivery level and outbound delivery level, and the distribution level, like, okay, so they have a huge distribution for that one, mainly at FMCG. Okay, and then pharma, food and beverages industries, consumer durables. Okay, so they'll have huge number of SKUs and as well as huge number of traffic also at the inbound level and the outbound level. Okay, so on the whole we'll be defining the warehouse complex. Okay, so whatever the warehouse complex, this entire warehouse complex, okay, or this is the entire warehouse complex, we'll configure that one as a warehouse number. Okay, so a warehouse number, so a warehouse number is an organizational unit in logistics that divides up a company from warehouse management point of view. In SAP Extend Warehouse Management, you can warehouse define various control parameters at the warehouse level. Okay, so I'll show you in the system. So configuring the warehouse structure is a very important element at the implementation of the extended warehouse management. Okay, so first thing we need to understand, like, what exactly the warehouse is it attached to the plant, is it a DC, is it a transit warehouse? That is one of the step, and then further to that one we'll get into the further configuration of the storage type, how it is bifurcated, how the warehouse is utilizing that space. Okay, we have multiple spaces in the warehouse. Okay, first initially we'll see this is the warehouse number. Okay, which we define. Okay, so anytime you can copy and you can create the warehouse. Always we'll copy the existing one. Okay, so this is the warehouse number, and then further we'll be assigning the warehouse number mainly to a supply chain unit. Okay, supply chain unit is a master data. Supply chain unit which will have the information related to the time zone, first thing my time zone and the address where exactly the particular warehouse is located. Okay, that's why it is a master data. Okay, that I'll show you that slide. So here, supply chain unit is a physical or organizational unit to represent the business character. Okay, so we have the multiple business characters. I'll open the supply chain unit and I'll show you also. Okay, it can be a planning location, or mainly for us it is a warehouse. Okay, for a specific business function or a role in the supply chain. So a supply chain unit can have multiple business characters. Okay, so here in the architecture, when EWM was involved, it is mainly with the uh, supply chain management. Okay, so from there, some of the architecture is still remaining there. Okay, that's why it is called as a supply chain unit. So once supply chain unit is, because in SCM server there are multiple modules were there. Okay, APO is the one of the module, transportation management along with the extended warehouse management is there, and then we have the event management, we have the EHS, multiple uh, modules are within the supply chain management. In the supply chain management, they have created a supply chain unit which will be assigned as a master data to the configuration level. In the same way, in extended warehouse management also we'll use the role of the warehouse. Okay, still there are many simplifications which are done at the S4 level, as it is embedded in the in the same server, S4 server embedded extended warehouse management. But some of the architecture in the material level also I've shown you last time, and I'll again show you. In the material level also we'll use a global transaction. Okay, that is also which is carried forward like from the SEM level architecture. Okay, so in future there might be further simplification, but as of now this is the architecture which is running. Okay, so this is the transaction code for it. Okay, slash scmb slash SEU main. I'll show you the easy access path also. The easy access path logistics, extend warehouse management, master data. So here we have the sub maintain supply chain unit slash scmb slash SEU main is the supply chain unit. We display this one. Okay, so here we have the three tabs: general, address and alternative. Okay, general tab, what we have here, the geographical data of the warehouse. Okay, so every, because we have uh, this data which is captured in supply chain unit which we are assigning to the configuration, means like system will capture the, for that particular warehouse, this is the geographical location. Okay, that's one thing. And then the another main important thing is the time zone, at which time zone that particular warehouse is working, because based on the time zone only system will capture the time, right? Because every time whenever we have an inbound delivery flown to the extended warehouse management, and then what is the time it has reached, and what is the time we are able to do the unloading complete, and then goods receipt, and then we have completed the put away task, and then we have completed the whole process of the extended warehouse management for that inbound delivery. At the same level, outbound delivery, these all things which are captured, the time is captured for that one, because the analytical purpose. Okay, so there'll be a lot of analytics will be worked on like behind be, to improve the performance all the time. Okay, so warehouse performance is like it depends on how, what is the less time they are able to complete the processing of the delivery. Okay, that's what is their main KPI, right? Okay, there is nothing much for them. They just need to complete the inbound delivery process or outbound delivery process, and then let the truck or a transportation unit move out of the warehouse. That's what is their main goal. Okay, so one second. Yeah, hi. So my voice got paused. Okay, I'm just opening the system again. One second. One second, I'm connecting to the system again. It got dropped. The connection dropped. Okay, so you are able to see my screen. Yeah. Okay. So here in the second tab we have the address tab. Address tab is like, this is the address for that particular warehouse. It can be, as I mentioned, we have multiple kinds of warehouses. If the warehouse is attached to the plant, okay, the plant address will be the warehouse address as the same. And if it is a distribution center which is away from the plant, okay, distribution center related address which will be coming, it is the transit warehouse, whichever the locality, okay, that particular address which will be coming. Okay, so this is the address purpose. Okay, because why it is required, the address is like when we are giving some of the documents along with the shipment. Okay, so this address will be captured. Okay, so whenever we might have seen in the transportation also, when they carry the goods, they'll be carrying some of the documentation also, because they have to show at the certain places. Whenever they are asked for related to that shipment, they need to show that one, okay, from where it is moving and from where it is reaching. Okay, so for that purpose we'll have the, at system level, this address is captured. Okay, so and then we have the further thing is like, we have the role of that particular, always whenever we have the warehouse is there, it is inv which is captured. Inv is a business attribute of the warehouse. This particular supply chain related attribute, business attribute, is like it is warehouse. Okay, we'll create this one, and then it will be assigned to the warehouse number. Okay, so further to that one, we have two more things which will be assigning to the warehouse. This is custodian and default party entitled. So both are like, uh, for any of the material or part. Okay, so when we have certain parts or certain materials in the warehouse, there must be somebody responsible. Say supposed to be the material which is existing in the warehouse, so the warehouse is responsible for that one. Okay, that is one of the aspect. Or else a particular person, warehouse manager or any supply chain analyst, somebody who is responsible. Okay, here in extended warehouse management, most of the time we have the plant or a warehouse. If it is attached to the plant, so plant is a responsible as a custodian or a default party entitled also. There are multiple scenarios. I'll show you all the scenarios which may come across. But the main thing is like, we'll create the BP as like the, either it can be a plant, it can be the warehouse or anything, is like, we'll create that as a master data as a BP business partner. So business partner as a custodian and the default party entitled, it will be assigned in the configuration. Okay, so there are multiple scenarios for the default party entitled to be. So here, for the sk supply chain unit. So one more important thing at the supply chain unit level is like, once we have uh, assigned the supply chain unit to the warehouse, and then once we have the materials or the products are created, then we cannot change the supply chain unit. Okay, so because once the flow is done, so it is difficult to move the supply chain unit. It is one of the permanent fixes only as a master data, but it is a kind of permanent thing, okay, which will be assigned to the warehouse. That's one of the important thing at the supply chain level. Next, so party entitled to dispose or a custodian. Okay, so party entitled to dispose is a BP representing the location or a plant. Okay, owner, both are the same. Entitled to dispose or owner is the same, and custodian is like under whose custody it is there. That means they are not the owners. Okay, there is a difference in between the owner and a custodian. Okay, so custodian means like who will be responsible for the custody itself, custody of the goods only. He will not hold the ownership. There is a person who is the owner. Okay, that means he has got the entitlement to dispose those products. That means he has got the authority to sell those products or to move the products. Okay, so the custodian will be just, is a kind of person who will be looking after those products custody level itself. Okay, this is a high level meaning of that one. Okay, but in the system, why we bifurcate these two things are like, as we have multiple scenarios which may come across. Most of the time, this is the first scenario which we will be having. Plant is a single depart party entitled dispose, owner and a custodian. Okay, so always you will see this scenario only in the production systems. Also, you will see this scenario only. Okay, but across the business, multiple scenarios are there. The main scenario is the same. Okay, so anytime even a plant is assigned to the warehouse, that means uh, which is a practically, when we see manufacturing plant is assigned to the warehouse. Okay, that means which is attached to the warehouse, or as a DC. Okay, at DC, distribution center also, when creating the organization structure, we'll create it as a plant, and we'll create the storage location, we'll create the extend warehouse management, warehouse number, all these assignments will be done, because for capturing the other ERP level transactions, it need to be created as a plant itself only. Okay, so for us here, that bifurcation at a ideal subject matter expertise level only, that will be coming in the point. But wherein practically at SAP system level, we'll be configuring each of the place where if we are storing the distribution center, the materials are there. But for the organization structure purpose, we'll be creating it as a plant, storage locations will be there, and then centralized warehouse where the extended warehouse management and the flow, these all things are in the common. Okay, so that's why always this first scenario, plant and warehouse scenario, so the party entitled dispose or the custodian, both are same in the same. Okay, in the same way what we have the transaction. And the second scenario is like, in some of the places we have the outsourcing, so they'll be outsourcing the uh, warehouse management. The particular warehouse operations are outsourced. That means there is there are two kinds of things, like either the place is owned by the premise is owned, or premise is leased by the business itself only, but it has given for the operations to some outsourced company who are doing the logistics service providing, that is LSP, or it will be called as a 3PL also. You'll be listening a term called a third party logistics services. Okay, so for example, third party logistics services, like they hold, then they hold the entire process also. Okay, in some of the way, like supposed to be we have FedEx. Okay, these all things are also called as a logistics the providers. Okay, so wherein they in some of the US business, you will see like they'll have a separate setup in that particular place warehouse where they are there. Okay, they'll be doing this logistics. Mainly they'll be holding that operational level thing, and then to dispatch from the warehouse to the customers or wherever the locations it need to. Okay, so that is one of the example at the logistics service provider. At that time, the logistics service provider is the only holds the custodian responsibility only, but plant will hold the ownership of that one. Okay, so this is one of the scenario. In some of the scenarios, we have multiple plants can be assigned to the one. Here from extended warehouse management to the plants, it is one to many. Okay, so one extended warehouse management can be assigned to multiple plants. Okay, it can take the responsibility or operational responsibility of the multiple plants. Okay, at that time we have two plants, plant A and plant B. Warehouse is one. Okay, at that time we have the warehouse will be the custodian, and plants, respective plants, will be the owners. Okay, so this is a typical scenario. Most of the time we have one to one only will be there. Okay, uh, and then we have same another way is also logistic service provider. At the same time, when we have the transaction which is multiple plants which are whose warehouse operations done by the one logistics service provider warehouse. Okay, so that is one of the way. In the same way, logistic service provider will be the custodian, and plant A and plant B will be the respective owners of that one. And one more thing is like sometimes we have the vendor consignment scenarios will be there, where the vendor holds the stock. Okay, vendor provides the stock to the plant. Okay, so at that time we have the and warehouse will be the custodian for that, and the respective vendors will have the ownership of the product. Okay, and then we have the same scenario which is a LSP level also. Okay, so and one more thing is like we have the customer level stock also. Sometimes we have done the goods issue, customer says that after 2 days you dispatch the stock. That means customer, we have the time levels, because customer level always the space, like warehouse is a space. Okay, if he has to take the delivery, he need to have the space. Okay, if he has got some congested congestion at the space level, they'll ask us to hold the delivery for 2 or 3 days. By that time, that particular stock will be within the plant, but we are not the owners for that one. The customer is the owner for that one, but we are just the custodian for that one. Okay, these are the multiple scenarios, but on the whole, this is the first scenario what we'll see all the time. Okay, so we'll be creating the BP, business partner, and then we'll be assigning it to the warehouse number. Okay, this is the warehouse level configuration part. And further to that one, this is a new configuration which came in the S4 HANA. Okay, so S4 HANA is like, this is a delta change, okay, which is not available at the standalone extend warehouse management server or in the landscape of SCM server, extend warehouse management with the SAM server. Okay, this is a delta change at the S4 HANA level. Okay, in S4 HANA, what SAP is given a facility to the business is like they have bifurcated the system into the basic warehouse management and the advanced warehouse management. Okay, so at the first class also I told you like SAP is directly promoting or recommending the business to directly start with the extended warehouse management. So they want all the business to directly come up with the extended warehouse management because the LEWM which is existing is not the targeted architecture. In S4 HANA, extended warehouse management, embedded extended warehouse management is the targeted architecture. So that's why they have bifurcated these two into the two levels. One is a basic warehouse management and the advanced warehouse management. I'll show you what all things will be there in the basic warehouse management and an advanced warehouse management. So here we'll be acknowledging the mode of usage. Okay, so there are certain level of warehouses wherein the basic warehouse functions are enough. Okay, so there are certain level of warehouses where the advanced functions are required. Okay, so in the starting also I have shown you at the inbound delivery level and the outbound delivery level we have a process of simple inbound and the simple complex inbound. Okay, so simple inbound means like it is one step. We are just receiving the part or product and then placing in the storage. Okay, in this, but where in the multi-step we have multiple, it is moving. Okay, so there is a multi-step process is there before it reaches to the final bin. Okay, so at these two levels the basic functions is like where for simple inbound process the basic functions are enough. Okay, for complex inbound we need the advanced functions. Okay, even in the same landscape also we will see some of the warehouses will not have the complex processes. For example, we have a distribution center. Distribution center main purpose, they'll receive the stock from the plant, then they'll dispatch to the customers. Okay, so by that time they'll not be having much of a functions which will be there. Okay, they'll can use the basic warehouse management function wherein we have the plant. Okay, manufacturing plant, at that time we have the raw materials also there and FG also there, FG related packing also will be there. Okay, there are multiple things which are happening there. By that time we may need the advanced. These are two use case examples of this one. Okay, so by that time in a landscape business can opt for certain level of warehouses, it can opt for the basic warehouse management, and certain level only it requires the advanced warehouse management. And one good thing which SAP is giving is like the with the same S4 license the basic warehouse management is free, so they'll not charge anything. Okay, with the S4 license, the basic extended warehouse management is coming directly with the S4 license. They can directly use that. Okay, so for advanced mode, if they have opted for the advanced mode for those functions, certain licenses, because SAP do the business with the licenses. Okay, you need to take the license from the SAP. So for that one there are number of licenses, these many number of users are using means like this many number of licenses you will take. Okay, so in those licenses certain level of licenses you doesn't require to opt for the advanced functions. By that time you will not pay for that. Only certain level where those particular warehouse functions are there you will take those license, the additional it's a kind of add-on only. So that add-on will be there as a additional advanced warehouse management. Okay, so this is what is the new change which came up in the S4 HANA level. Okay, so further to that one, in this one the main process is like as I mentioned simple inbound process and simple outbound process it can go through. And the good advantage to the business, one more thing is like they are using a sophisticated application like extend warehouse management. They'll see a better change in their process and they can see the return on investment whenever anybody is implementing. Yeah, somebody mic is on. Okay. Okay. So any in the simple inbound and simple
One
outbound
question.
processes.
Hello. Ram, one question.
Yeah.
If I'm using the basic warehouse management,
Hmm.
and then if I try to use the advanced functionality of advanced warehouse management, will it give me any error or it is
See,
simply not allowed?
you'll not be able to because usage mode you're opting right. So the configuration will have a hold on that.
So for that warehouse, we can't do this configuration.
Hmm. So that's why when we are, I think it's there is some or another speaker is on. Try to mute the speaker. Okay. So when the licenses are taken, by that time only in the landscape they'll have it. Uh, they'll figure out. Okay, because at the end, because if somebody is implementing, business is implementing means like they'll have all the analysis on that. So at which are the warehouses will be using the basic warehouse functions, which are the warehouses will be using the advanced warehouse functions. Okay, so the basic warehouse functions, when they are having the same process, the operational process is at the basic warehouse management level. So by that time they'll take the license as basic warehouse management. We'll be having the usage mode captured as the basic warehouse management. So, and according to, as I mentioned, if it is attached to the plant where the packing, repacking is there, deconsolidation is there, and then at the raw material level and FG level is there. So they'll be having, they can figure out that operational level, right? So at that time they'll be opting for the, for those particular plant related licenses, they'll be opting for the advanced warehouse management. Okay, so that's why system has a hold. And one more thing is like what SAP's main business is selling the licenses. Okay, so and one more thing is like they will have to, they want to promote. Yeah, can you just
One
mute up
question
because it
here.
is giving
No,
echo.
one thing here.
Yeah.
In my system, I can create, let's say, 10 to 20 warehouses number. So we
Hmm.
need to get the license for each warehouse number and
See,
users for all the users.
yeah, here SAP how it works is like with the number of licenses you take. Whatever the system we are accessing, like number of
Correct.
licenses, number of users. Always in the business you will see supposed to be you are a consultant. Okay,
So we
when
need
you
to
are
get a
getting
license
the
for the S4
license,
HANA.
that means you are creating your user ID, means like that is one of your license.
Hmm.
So in the same way all the consultants and the
Okay.
users, number of users who are those are all the licenses. Each number of license you will have the fee for the production system mainly. You will have the cost which need to be paid to the SAP. Okay, so that is it is a process where the, because the revenue generation of SAP comes out with the licenses. Okay, the number of user licenses. So that's where SAP want to promote the extended warehouse management also. And one more thing is like if the business want to see any betterment at the warehouse management level, so they can see only with the extended warehouse management only. So that's where SAP want to recommend, that means want to promote. That's why they are giving this basic warehouse. So for example, if any business want to use the extended warehouse management, now they are using the ECC, they have to go for a license. At the same time they have to take the server license, ECC separate license, and extend warehouse management as a separate license, even though it is with the SCM server or a standalone server. But then the cost is very high, right? So comparatively when they are opting for S4 HANA, if SAP charges for the a complete extend warehouse management separately, business may not be interested. A business will think, because everything is cost analysis, right? So spend, it will be called as spend, how much is the business spend. So by the time the calculation comes is like what is the cost which is coming. So, and here the challenge with SAP is like it cannot show any change at the extended warehouse management level with the centralized warehouse, because they have not done anything with the centralized warehouse management. So that's why they came up with the new thing, so that it's a win-win situation both at the SAP level. Means like SAP can promote the extended warehouse management, the number of business which will be using the extended warehouse management will increase, and then they'll be able to see the return on investment with S4 HANA. That is one of the thing. And business will have an advantage that without taking an extended warehouse management separate server and going for all those landscape, and because it's called as total cost. Okay, total turnaround cost, which is going to be higher side when you implement a new landscape. Yeah, that's a complete altogether. It's a separate team. You have to maintain the technical skills, functional skills. Those all things which when business calculates, they calculate all these things. Each and every single aspect is a cost. Even a single hour of effort is a cost to the business. So that's why everything is captured. So that's why they came up with this solution. Okay, so this proven to be the good thing, so that it's a win-win situation at both business level and the SAP level. Okay. The next one, the important thing is, further a warehouse is bifurcated into multiple storage types. Okay, so the whole complex which is there, we have the entire warehouse is there. We can see there are multiple places. Okay, from, imagine this as a yard. It's outside of the warehouse yard where we park the vehicles, and from there a door is there. Okay, these are the places. I'm just giving you at a high level what all the places which are existing. And then we have a door. Okay, door where we'll be unloading. Okay, and then we might have seen this one when we see structure huge warehouses structures will be there. In that one you will see a bay kind of stuff, what call it as the inbound bay or outbound bay. Okay, at that time there'll be shutters, like there'll be huge shutters will be there. They'll open that one. When they open it, the infrastructure is created as such that this particular truck will be directly attached to that particular door. Okay, so that sometimes a forklift also can go inside and it can place the goods or unload the goods. Okay, in such a way the facility will be created. So door is one place. And then further, when we are, these are all the multiple locations which I am high level I'm explaining you, so that you will understand these are all the locations which are existing, which will be, when we create the storage types, you will understand that each location is created as a storage type. Okay, so here we will be unloading. Where we are unloading, that place is like the staging area. Why we call it as a staging area? Because we are not keeping the material permanently here. We just staging it for certain time. We unload, we stage, and then we'll be picking the parts, and then we'll be placing in the final bins. Okay, once the staging area is done, in between we have multiple other, if the warehouse has got multiple process, we have the uh, deconsolidation space, repacking space. That means where the repacking, those all kinds of work center kind of stuff, wherein certain human labor will be working for the particular, or else some certain machinery will be there. So wherein segregating the products or else repacking. So okay, those all things. And then we have the final bins where we are placing the final part, product of part or a material at the final bin. Okay, so here the material will rest permanently. Permanently means like till the time it will be picked. Okay, this is the final. It is the actual, the particular part or products actual address is the final bin only. Okay, and then further, when we pick the materials, okay, then we'll be placing it in the staging area at the outbound delivery level. This is one of the place where we'll stage the parts or products for outbound delivery level for the loading purpose. Okay, we'll be loading. Okay, once we load the parts or products inside the transportation unit, and then it will be dispatched. Okay, this is the whole process which will happen at the warehouse level. So in this one, you can see add is there, door is there, a staging area is there, deconsolidation center or a packing work center or a final bins and the outbound staging. These are all the places where the product is transiting. So all these locations which will be captured as a storage type means like everything is a space. This is a space. This is a space. This is a space. This is a space. All the spaces which are captured as a storage types. Okay, I'll show you in the system. Okay, so here if we see, so there are multiple storage types are there. Okay, inside that one we have multiple things like high rack storage, rack storage, okay, and rack storage near fixed bench, and these are all the standard storage types which are created at the most of the time. You will have the same itself only. Whenever we need, we can just copy and then we can create the new one. Okay, we'll see the complete configuration of the storage types. Okay, so here mainly which is used is these are which we are talking now is the final bins. Okay, so the final bin which is a standard storage type, it will be called as. Okay, so mainly the main usage which comes is the high rack storage. I'll show you how the high rack storage will look like. So this is the high rack storage from the close. If you see closely, it will look like this one. Okay, hierarchy storage is nothing but a structure. So wherein a structure is there, and then we'll be able to place the part or material there inside. Okay, so it has got multiple stacks. Okay, in between these two, which is called as a stack, and then these are the levels. Okay, we have one first level, second level, third, fourth, fifth, sixth levels are there. Okay, and it is a steel structure. Okay, most of the warehouses will be using this structure, high rack structure it will be called as. Okay, so this high rack structure which can be uh, sometimes you will see a very strong structure, sometimes according to the weight of the product they'll be designing that one. Here we have, in warehouse we have two levels. First level is a system level. That means physical warehouse level. Physical warehouse level means like the infrastructure, physical infrastructure. According to the physical infrastructure, we will be mapping it in the system. Okay, so when we visit the warehouse at the implementation level, we have two levels. One is either you are implementing or else you are at the rollout level. In both the times you might will have a chance to visit the warehouse. Okay, so that two levels also, either they have already created the infrastructure, you are able to see the infrastructure, or else at the second level they have not created the infrastructure, they have a plan for that. Okay, so which by looking at that or by analyzing that, you have to create the warehouse in the system level. You have to create the storage types. Okay, storage types are the main element at the warehouse structure. Based on this one only, the entire further configuration or further process will depend. Okay, so while creating the hierarchy, okay, so if they have the clear infrastructure, like this is the infrastructure which you are directly seeing this one. Okay, you can imagine, you will able to analyze how many bins are there. So for example, a bin is like a space. We can further bifurcate after we have, we'll come to the configuration of the storage bins also. For this time you understand this particular place, these three pallets are there like within this, in between this stack and this level. Okay, so it is at the fourth level, it is at the stack is there. This is a bin. Okay, so like this, how many number of bins are there in this two structures? You can see number of bins are there. Okay, so in the same way it is further bifurcated into the bins and sections. We'll next level we'll be discussing on the sections and the storage bin, storage section and storage bin. So this is one of the storage types. Practically also it will be looking like the same itself. That's one thing. And then further to that one, When we see this is one of the space, you can see it is looking as a open space. Okay, so open storage also it will be called. In the open storage there are two levels. These all things which I am telling are practically what you will see when you go for implementation at a rollout or a direct implementation. Okay, so this is a kind of subject matter expertise wherein you will have clear understanding how to analyze or how the practical level storage types will be there. When we see this kind of a place, this is a open one under the roof. Okay, so there is another open storage also will be there which is outside the warehouse. So there are certain big parts will be there. Okay, or else empties will be there, crates, empty crates, for example. These all things will be say storing outside. Okay, so that is called as a open storage. Okay, so and then further to that we have some more rack kind of a thing. Here you can see at the back end, see at this space they have the open space, and at this back end you can see they have the whole high racks which are there. Okay, so one more thing, high rack is like you can see this is the open one which is looking at. So rack means like if it is closed. So the in between these two you can see the open space is there. If it is three sides it is closed, then it will become a rack. Okay, so rack storage will be like here they'll be able to place the pallets and all. Okay, so rack storage where we'll be using, mainly we'll be using it when we have the small parts, or else we in a manufacturing unit we'll have the nut from nut bolt onwards, small and medium sized parts when they are there. So they need not, that means they should not be missed. That's why they'll create a rack kind of a thing. Okay, that is one of the structure you will see in the practical in the warehouse, that we'll be creating as a rack. This is a high rack. That will be, well, there'll not be so much of a difference. Only thing is like it will be closed uh, the other three sides, so that the parts will not it will be stored in a loose. Some of the parts like nuts and bolts, they'll take all the parts into small and medium sized parts. They'll be openly in, mainly you'll see in the automobile like that. Okay, or else in some of the huge machinery manufacturing units. Okay, they'll have small, medium, lot of number of parts will be there. That is one of the thing. Okay, that became rack storage. So before creating the storage types, we need to understand the structure. That's why I'm clearly explaining you each and every point at the storage type level. Okay, so and further to that one, when we see here, a storage type will have lot of configuration. So here we have a particular storage type will have a role. That what we have. I've shown you. I've make you gone through the complete process and flow. So wherein we have the final bins which are there, or the hierarchy is like where we will be storing the final parts. Okay, that is a standard storage type. This is the configuration. We'll have a configuration. We have the general configuration level and a put away control and a stock removal level at the storage type. Okay, at this level of configuration, which will be storage type configuration, plays a key role in the complete further process. Okay, so we have the standard storage type means like wherein we save the, that means we store the final parts. That is one thing. And then we have a staging area. I have mentioned to you after unloading where we keep, that is a staging area. And then we have a work center where we'll be doing the packing, under where some human or a machinery will go. Door I have shown you where we assign the vehicle to the door, that is the door. And then yard where we first initially when the vehicle has reached to that particular place, that is a parking space, that is a yard. Okay, these all things will be for production supply. At a production unit we will be supplying the raw materials, so that is the production supply. These are all the places where we will be placing the parts or material. Certain place which is a standard one means like it is a final bin. Okay, and remaining all are transit places. But even then also we'll be capturing each and every area as a storage type, and it will have the roles will be different. Here you understand this one. This kind of configuration will not be there at the centralized warehouse management. You will not create all the things as a storage types. Wherein here you will be creating everything as a storage type. One thing. Okay, and then the main key thing which bifurcates the storage types and which will give the clear idea of their behavior, the particular storage types attributes of the behavior is its role. That is the key thing. Okay, so in the next class we'll be discussing on the storage type complete configuration at this all these each and every field will be working on that, which are the important fields at the put away control level. And we have the stock removal level also. Okay, so these are the two levels wherein we'll be placing the stock inside the warehouse and where we'll be picking the stock. Okay, these two levels which are the main two levels. Okay, so that is this entire configuration part will work. And then we'll be discussing on the storage section, defining the storage section, and then we'll be working on the storage bins, and then staging areas, warehouse store. Okay, and then activity areas. These all configuration parts we'll be discussing in the next class. Okay, so man, any concerns for today?
Ram, can you share the PPT which you are
Yeah, yeah,
using?
yeah. I'll share the ppt. Okay, so we'll meet in the next class and we'll discuss further on these all topics. Okay,
Okay. Bye bye.
yeah,
See
thank you
you.
all. Bye.